Greetings, everyone. TLOU Strategist back with another timely and hopefully informative video. So this past week or so, there has been a rumor going around that The Last of Us Part 2 will not contain multiplayer. So with this video, I hope to answer that singular question. Will The Last of Us Part 2 contain multiplayer? So this rumor began a few days ago when a Reddit user by the name of Tucci posted his days of play box, in that he noticed that the fine print at the bottom had mentioned that The Last of Us Part 2 would not contain the online component, along with several other Sony games as well. Now, whether this was just a misprint or a typo, it has not been confirmed by Naughty Dog or by Sony or anyone for that matter. The other thing that people are pointing to is that the official Sony Last of Us Part 2 game features page does not list multiplayer as being one of its components at this point in time. Now, some of you may be saying, wait a minute, I thought the multiplayer was confirmed a long time ago, back in 2018. And technically it was. Both Kurt Margano and Anthony Newman, in a GameSpot interview, confirmed that the multiplayer is indeed coming back. They didn't say, stop short of being specifically factions, but saying a multiplayer component was indeed coming back. So, with that having been said, the real question now is, what are the odds that they go ahead and scrap the multiplayer idea at this time? A multiplayer that has been highly successful, stood the test of time for over 6 years. Would they really be willing to scrap it at this point? Well, the devil might be in the details. Sure, the state of play box fine print and the lack of a true confirmation from either Naughty Dog or Sony of The Last of Us Part 2 having multiplayer does seem a little unsettling at this point of time. Especially if The Last of Us Part 2 is truly due to set in the early Q1 of 2020, then canceling it at this point could feel like a stab in the back. But let's not get carried away here. There are many, many excellent reasons why The Last of Us Part 2 will have a multiplayer. For me, the first and maybe clearest and most obvious reason is if you look at the Naughty Dog job postings for June 2019. You will see 3 specific jobs: gameplay programmer, server programmer, and quality assurance tester / development support, which are specifically for multiplayer. Please note that 2 of those jobs are full-time and only one, the quality assurance tester, is a temporary assignment. So, some people say, well, just because they put job listings for multiplayer, it doesn't mean that it's for The Last of Us Part 2. So I went on Naughty Dog's LinkedIn page, looked up the job description specifically, and on that site, it literally lists these job positions for The Last of Us Part 2. At this point, I think we can logically say The Last of Us Part 2 will have a multiplayer component. I honestly feel it would be too much of a stretch, too much of a pullback to cancel the multiplayer at this point. It may just be my biased opinion, I feel it's too popular and too expected for it to suddenly just disappear. These job listings also just list the new positions they are hiring for. It does not list the multiplayer team that has already been working on the multiplayer for who knows how many months now, if not years. I know for a fact there is one individual who was working very, very hard on trying to improve the server, both ping time and responses, to create a much, much better melee experience in The Last of Us Part 2. So, with that having been said, thank you for joining me. Please voice your opinions down below and let me know just how much you are looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer. All right. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and take care. Catch you soon. Cheers.